The Michigan Football Report is presented by Roan. That's roan.com/chatsports. Use promo code chatsports for 20% off and free shipping on the most comfortable athletic dress shirts, pants, and apparel. We are talking inside spring football here on the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, coming up right now. Let's go inside spring practice here on a Saturday, folks. We're 5 weeks away from the Michigan spring game. We're going to have about 3 practices per week all throughout the month of March. I'm excited to tell you what I've heard, what I know, what's being discussed, some of the blogosphere talk, just kind of take you guys inside what's been going on this first week of spring practice. All right, coming up on the show, we're going to go inside the Michigan football offense, J.J. McCarthy, the passing game, the offensive line, and what's going on with the running back situation. But first off, I want to talk about the Michigan football defense, what you need to know this spring. Starting off on spring football for Michigan, the topic I want to talk about, which I think somehow has become the topic everyone wants to talk about over the past week, is Amorion Walker, wide receiver in 2022 as a true freshman. Got one catch like in the Hawaii game early on, but apparently switched positions, saw the opportunity to get into the 2 deep after the Big Ten championship game in the bowl practice leading up to the TCU game, switched from wide receiver over to corner. And the thought was maybe, hey, we can play him at both positions at corner during spring practice. Maybe he'll be a walk-on or a backup for this year. Maybe he can work into the starting lineup a year or two from now. But he saw the opportunity at cornerback, has switched positions completely, although there's still some chatter that maybe he could be a difference maker at times on offense, though Charles Woodson's both sides of the ball, has been taking all of the first team reps opposite Will Johnson at cornerback this spring for the Wolverines. So Amorion Walker, as things stand right now, will join Rod Moore and Mike Sainristil, of course, and Makari Page in Michigan secondary. Those are your 5 starters right now in the spring. And unless someone emerges at the cornerback 2 position outside of Will Johnson, folks, I don't know if that's going to change from now all the way through the end of the season. I think Michigan's secondary has the potential to be, frankly, pretty dang good. So that is the word there. Now, I want to talk on Will Johnson. All right. What I'll say about Will Johnson right now is it is amazing to me what he kind of accomplished from the quarterback position when he got into the starting lineup at the end of October after the Michigan State game. What he's kind of accomplished from then till now, and now the expectations of him going into spring practice right now, going into summer, into the season, is that he is Michigan's best cornerback right now since Charles Woodson 26 years ago now. That includes, of course, Marlon Jackson and Leon Hall, Jordan Lewis, all kinds of NFL first and second round draft picks. I expect him to be a two-time first-team All-American. Two-time first-team All-American is my expectation out of Will Johnson. I think that he is going to be the best defender, regardless of position, in college football this season. He's already off to a hot start, as reportedly had an excellent first week of spring practice. Overall, for this Michigan football defense, before we kind of slide over to the offense, I'm going to talk a little more in the secondary linebackers here in a moment. But I do think that the depth on this team and the returning proven talent is unprecedented for a Michigan football team. You've got your starting quarterback, 2 top running backs, 2 top wide receivers, 9 offensive linemen that have it starting duty in 2022 in a Power 5 school. You switch over to defense. Defensive line, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Linebackers, you're 4 deep with guys who started in the Big Ten last year. And in the secondary, if Amorion Walker turns out to be everything we hope he turns out to be, he is going to be, this Michigan defense and the depth on offense and defense this year is going to be unprecedented, I think, for a Michigan football team. Guys, I'm sure many of you, like me, have social life, parenting responsibilities, and heck, even like to hit the golf course sometimes while on company time. Well, I've got the solution to the hassle of changing clothes between your daily activities. It's the Commuter Collection from Roan, athletic dress pants, shirts, and apparel. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and Roan stepped up to the challenge. I'm wearing Roan's commuter shirt and commuter pants, both part of the Commuter Collection, which is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man. And here's why. Roan helps you get ready for any occasion with the Commuter Collection, which offers you the world's most comfortable dress pants, shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You'll never have to worry about what you wear when you have the Roan Commuter Collection. Roan's comfortable 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way, from your commute to work to your 18 holes of golf. It's time to feel confident without the hassle. With Roan's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's that easy. And with Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, sometimes you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long, no matter how you really smell underneath. Roan is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch that dry cleaner altogether. I love my Roan shirts, guys. Look at this bad boy. You can stretch it out. You can roll up the sleeves. You can wear it to your son's soccer game. You can go toss a sports coat over on top of it, head out for a night in the town or a dinner or something like that. It's ROHONE.com/chatsports. Go get yourself some Roan, 20% off and free shipping. Roan.com/chatsports. Use that promo code chatsports. Link is down in the comments and the description of today's video. Look, this starting secondary, I was a little worried about it when DJ Turner, Gemon Green decided to leave, but look, from what we're hearing about Amorion Walker, just his freak athleticism is the term that keeps being said over and over and over about him. If he lives up to the spring hype, he could be the missing piece for Michigan to win the national championship. Frankly, outside of just maybe no star in the defensive line as of now, that quarterback number 2 spot is really the only unproven piece of Michigan's entire team. That was a team that was plays away from being the national championship game last year, and hell, maybe just a referee call away from facing Georgia, which maybe, based on what happened in that game, might have been a bit of a brutal matchup for Michigan. All right, want to ask you guys this question. Thinking forward to the 2023 season, how good this offense, but most importantly, this defense could be. I'm going to ask you guys this. Since 1997, the national championship team with Charles Woodson as the Heisman Trophy winning corner, which year was the best season of defense for Michigan football? I think there's a few that stand out. 2003 and 4 were pretty good years. 2006, certainly. 2016 is kind of the best defense, in the last 10 years or so. But 2018 was pretty damn good until they got exposed in Columbus in the Ohio State game. But a lot of people might throw the 2021 or 2022 Michigan defense in there. So let me know, best Michigan defense since 1997. Does Michigan have the best safety combo in college football? You're going to return both starters from last year, McCarthy Page and Rod Moore. And behind him, of course, you still have, who am I missing? R.J. Moten right there at safety, who was the starter to begin the year, who was kind of the starting safety for the 6, 7, 8 games until him and Moten kind of flip-flop roles there at the safety position. I think this safety combo for Michigan, who will be in their second year starting together, and they could both be back in 2024 and 2025 with the COVID year. I think it's going to be one of the best, if not the best, safety combo in all of college football. More on the Michigan football defense. Nakai Hill-Green, starter at linebacker last year in fall camp, got hurt, missed the entire season, but did return for bowl practices and was looking pretty good. Has been a fully healthy participant in spring practice thus far. So keep an eye for him. I don't think he's going to be a starter because Michael Barrett got that role, did pretty well last year, but he will be in the 2 deep in this season. Defensive depth chart on the defensive line has been good, right? Been good, but not great yet, right? It's not a strength of the team, really, because there's probably too many guys who are getting first-team reps right now. You got Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Chris Jenkins, Rayshon Trap Money Benny, Josiah Stewart, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, Derek Moore, who had just bouts of good plays but didn't get a ton of playing time last year as a true freshman, and then Braden McGregor, who did continue to get more playing time as the season went on. So the defensive line, strength right now, folks, but or it's not a strength right now, but it is definitely a deep part of the team, rotating as many as 10 and 11 guys in with the first-team defense throughout this spring practice. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Michigan TV. If you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're putting out the most content on Michigan football here on YouTube, and hell, maybe even any platform where you can get news and rumors on Harbaugh's Wolverines. So hit that subscribe button or go to youtube.com/Michigan TV. In the future, subscribe when you're ready, but no better time than the present. Let's go inside the Michigan football offense as we are kind of gearing up, going into week 2 of a spring practice tomorrow. Running back situation. All right, so I saw this on the ESPN.com, where it's the ESPN.com homepage yesterday, that Blake Corum was out for the spring. Okay, not breaking news. We knew that as a group, but I guess ESPN, a little bit behind the times, they don't pay attention to this stuff. Corum got surgery, and then Donovan Edwards got surgery as well to fix his hand. Corum, obviously, to his knee. So neither one of those guys is participating in spring practice. So as things shake out with the running back situation, what does that look like for Michigan? Right now, CJ Stokes and freshman Cole Cabana and Benjamin Hall are getting the most snaps at the running back position right now in spring practice, but I don't expect that to remain the same once Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum come back. They'll both likely be healthy around May, June timeframe. I think Edwards will be fully back healthy in May. Corum might string into June until he's 100% on that knee. But as we go in spring practice right now, Michigan is just looking for running back number 3, because you've got maybe the best 1-2 combo the Big Ten is seen at running back in, hell, maybe ever. I want to ask you guys this question. How many combined touchdowns, rushing and receiving, do you think Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards will have in 2023? They had a combined 28 last season. I think it was 25 rushing and 3 receiving between the two superstar running backs. So how many will they have this upcoming season? Let me know down in the comments. Indiana quarterback transfer Zak Tuttle, who's a top 250 player in the 2018 recruiting class, went out to Utah for a year, didn't play at all, transferred to Indiana, had a couple starts in the 2019 or 20 season, if I can't remember exactly which one, and now has a 6th year because of the 2020 COVID year, transfers to Michigan. Doing pretty good so far, apparently. Has been taking the quarterback number 2 reps with Davis Warren this spring, 3 practices in, but the expectation is going forward that he has slightly separated himself from Warren, and Michigan might put him at that backup role in case J.J. McCarthy were to get hurt, go out. They think that Tuttle might be a better fit to guide the Michigan offense versus taking a chance on a completely unproven walk-on player like Davis Warren. But with these running back injuries, will it force Michigan to actually develop a passing game that can win a national championship, right? Could this be a blessing in disguise that Corum and Edwards aren't out there? Because, hell, we know Jim Harbaugh's offense, at least the last 2 years, is a run-heavy offense, and only passes, especially games where they're winning early, 16 to 20 times a game. Could be a blessing in disguise, because they're not just going to hand the ball off to CJ Stokes in practice every time to see if he's good enough to be the running back 3. So they got to work on what the guys are there. They're going to be on the field this fall. And for me, that is the passing game with J.J. McCarthy, right? We saw the deep passing game come alive a little bit against Ohio State and here and there against Purdue. But when Michigan needed J.J. McCarthy to pass, when they needed him to step up and lead them potentially back from being down by 3 scores against TCU, he performed. Despite those 2 pick six, when they had to go deep to Roman Wilson, to Cornelius Johnson, and others, he really proved what he can do, which I think everyone expects him to do. So maybe this could be a blessing in disguise for Michigan in 2023, is that they had to spend more time in the spring and maybe in this 7-on-7 drills in the summer developing that passing game, which would give them a chance against teams like Georgia or Alabama or Clemson, whoever they may face in a college football semifinal national championship game this season as they go for a 3rd straight Big Ten title. All right, as we go into the offense more, the wide receiver position is proven but not spectacular. But as you would expect, Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson are the unquestioned 1-2 at wide receiver. Other guys in there, Tyler Morris, you've got A.J. Henning and others, is 4, 5, 6 guys, including returning players and incoming players that will vie for that 3rd starting wide receiver job, or be in the 2 deep, as we've seen from Harbaugh teams. Typically in any given season, 5 guys will get in on that wide receiver rotation. So 2 of them are certain. I think A.J. Henning will probably end up sliding in at the 3rd one. So we'll kind of see how things shake out with those other 2 wide receiver positions, or at least in the 2 deep. I don't think we're going to know anything for certain until we get into fall camp, and hell, maybe even the first couple games of the season. Let me ask you guys this question. The Michigan record for touchdown passes in the season is 25. Will J.J. McCarthy have 26 touchdown passes or more? Will he break the record in his 2nd year as a starter? Go down in the comments. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Michigan's offensive line. I'm going to end the show on this. It's so deep right now, it is unfair. Unfair to who? Well, maybe just to Big Ten opponents, because it certainly hasn't seemed to work in the college football playoff as far as being the Joe Moore award-winning group that they've kind of got outmanned by Georgia and then even TCU in back-to-back CFP semifinals. But right now, Zak Zinter, Trevor Keegan, Karsen Barnhart, you got 3 returning starters. Then you're bringing in 3 transfers who were starters in the Pac-12, 2 from Stanford, 1 from Arizona State. As I told you a couple days ago, LaDarius Henderson not in spring practice right now. He's sticking around Arizona State for this semester to graduate and then be able to go and play at Michigan as a grad transfer. So he's not in the rotation. A lot of guys getting snaps. Trente Jones was a Week 1 starter last year. Giovanni Hadi started a handful of games due to injuries last year. And Drake Nugent, Myles Hinton come over from Stanford. I don't think Hinton is going to get a starting role this year, despite starting at Stanford for multiple seasons. But I do think the kind of the promise for him is, hey, we're going to develop you like you need to be developed for the pros. On the bench this year, backup for Hinton, and then he is slated to potentially be a starter in 2024, which would be his 6th year in college. Have that red shirt plus a COVID year for him. All right, guys, that is today's show. I am your host, James Yoder, once again. Until I see you guys on Monday, go Blue.